Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is actually going to be something that's slightly different for my channel. You guys will probably remember at the top of the year, I said that I wanted to introduce new content to my channel. I wasn't really sure what that would be, and I have been kind of experimenting a little bit, but it hasn't gone like completely I haven't made any like broad strokes in terms of different types of content. So honestly for this year, it's really going to be me just kind of experimenting, playing around with things that I want to add to the channel. So this is one of those videos, and this is what I'm hoping will become a bit of a series, something new and consistent on the channel, because like I had this weird epiphany last night, and it's something that I've been wrestling with for a couple of weeks, talking with my girl Kara about it, in terms of like, do I want to bring this new content to my channel? And I haven't said anything about what it is yet, so let me just say, I want to take a more holistic approach to beauty. This is a beauty channel, like, and for the most part, it is a makeup channel. So I talk a lot about like makeup, a little bit about skincare, a lot about eyeshadow, and that's kind of where the focus has been since the beginning, right? But I want to really expand on that because beauty is more than just makeup, right? It's kind of a holistic thing. And for me, 2024, I've dubbed that sort of my year of like health, my year of balance. In full transparency, 2023 was like the worst year of my life. And I'm laughing at it because I can laugh now, but it was literally one of the hardest years of my life. There was breakups and death and moving and work and travel, and I felt like I was constantly going and I was in survival mode for most of 2023. Like, it was a bit of a struggle. And you know, it's hard to go through that and still have to show up in like everyday life. So like I was still filming my content, still had to show up to work because bills need to be paid. You guys know how it is. And I didn't get a chance to really like pause and stop and kind of evaluate what 2023 did to me. But going into 2024, I like really made a commitment to myself that this is the year that I'm going to shift and transition to being healthy. So last night I was thinking about this video as I was winding down for bed, and originally my concept for this was kind of like free or cheap ways to create that soft girl life. And I was thinking about what is the soft girl life? And for me, I like to Google things because I want to know the real definition. And when I Googled soft girl life, it was, the definition that I saw online was a life that is calm, relaxed, free from struggle, free from stress. And the way I've seen it portrayed on social media is this era in which women, particularly women, are kind of like stepping back, moving away from the hustle culture, wanting to be catered to, wanting to be cared to. And that's all fine and dandy. But for me, that wasn't realistic. So as I was thinking about, should this video be about like creating that soft girl life, I was like, that's actually not really realistic for me. So I shifted and I transitioned it to being how to create or free or cheap ways to create a balanced life. Because the fact is, that's really what I want in my life at this point. I just want balance. I want to be able to be consistent and happy in every single area of my life, both, you know, physical, mental, emotional, financial, career-wise, everything. So the goal for this video is to talk about how to create that balanced life. So if you are interested in this video, if you are interested in this ride of me going on this holistic beauty journey for my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the fam, and dive right in. So like I said in the intro of today's video, I want to approach this from the perspective of living a balanced life / soft life, because I think those two can bleed together. And the reason why I wanted to create this video is because in sort of my like decision to make 2024 my year of health, my year of happiness and all of that, I was trying to look for content that would inspire me, that would motivate me, that would get me in the right mindset and give me the right tips and tricks to get there. But to be quite frank, a lot of the content that I found online was really from influencers, content creators, people who live a very different life from mine. And by that I mean they were providing tips and tricks for a lifestyle that is unrealistic in my opinion. When you are a regular, smegular person like myself, and you have a 9-to-5 job, and you maybe have a family, kids, or whatever it is, the soft girl life that's portrayed, which is where you wake up late, you can lounge and you can have breakfast in bed at 10, you can go to Pilates at 11 and midday, that's not realistic for the majority of us. Many of us have to get up and go to work, be at work at 9. And a lot of other folks have families, have kids, have these other responsibilities that they need to take care of. So I wanted to approach this as a sort of process, a journey for me, as well as for people who are in a similar position to mine. So I want to preface this by saying I'm not a self-help guru. I have no expertise in this area. This is me just sharing like what my journey is, kind of like tips and tricks that I think I will incorporate into my journey, and really having a conversation with you all, because I wanted to bring this to the community so that I could share what was in my mind and also hear from you guys what was kind of rumbling around in yours. So that's really the goal here, is just to talk, to share, and to hear from you guys as well. So this isn't going to be a crazy video, long video. It's not, because it's not a makeup video. But I did think about breaking this down into 3 parts. And I actually did make a little bit of notes because I like to write and get my thoughts out. So I'm breaking it down into 3 parts in terms of like how to create this balanced life. First being the physical. So like physical you, what does that look like? Then mental, and then environmental. It actually, when I was thinking about this, I started thinking about the social determinants or social drivers of health. It's this concept in healthcare, this concept in public health, that the places where you live, grow, work, learn, all of those things contribute to a healthy lifestyle. And given that I work in healthcare, it felt like the right approach for me. So I want to start with the physical. And a lot of the things that I'm going to say here are going to sound a little bit superficial, but honestly, it's not. Like, there's a deeper like thought and deeper process behind it. So just rock with me for a little bit. So physical. To me, the first part or the first process in creating a balanced life is really starting with what you can control. And what you can control is yourself. There's a lot happening in the world. There's a lot happening outside of us, whether that be what's happening with our family, our friends, work, the world at large. There's always a lot going on, and it can feel quite overwhelming. So for me, creating a balanced life means shutting out all of that to begin with and focusing on what can Jamila control. And the first thing that I can control is my appearance. And I know that sounds a little vain, a little superficial, but the reason why I wanted to start with my appearance, because you know that old saying, you look better, you feel better? Y'all, that is so true. I don't know how to explain it, but like there's so much truth to that. So for me, in sort of like this shift in mindset and shift in priorities, one of the things that I am prioritizing is my physical appearance. Everything from losing weight and becoming a more toned, tight, and better and having a better body, that is one key priority for me. But also like thinking about like what I put on my body, how I get dressed. And I think this might be particularly helpful for people who are working from home. One of the things that I noticed when I transitioned to working from home, like, pandemic 2020 hit, we were sent home, all of us were working from home. And given that, there was no need to dress up. Back when I was going to the office, I would get up in the morning, I would get dressed, I'd have my heels on, hair did, clothes done, all of that. But then when you're working from home, the need to get dressed is gone. So it's very easy to get into the routine of, well, these look clean, this will work. And you find yourself in like I don't want to call it a slubby mode, but you find yourself just not putting a lot of attention into how you look. And with that, I found that could really affect my mood. So one of the things that I intentionally started doing for work is I started doing my makeup. That became such a cathartic process, such a therapeutic process for me, because it made me feel like I was getting ready in the morning. It made me feel more put together. It was also an opportunity for me to slow down. Like having an hour in the morning where I would just like get my makeup done, get my face ready, was kind of me replacing my commute to work. Because when I would go into the office and I would have that drive, it would be me getting mentally prepared to like, okay, I gotta answer emails. I have this on my to-do list, that on my to-do list. Now I do that during my makeup process because I'm preparing for the day by thinking about all of that stuff. Versus when the pandemic had initially started, work started at 9. You know who's rolling out of bed at 8:45, brushing their teeth and ready to go. And that just was not a great way to start the day. It was kind of like a jump scare, just like boop, boop, boop. One thing to the next, no. And I wanted to have like a little bit of a slower morning waking up. So that was like sort of step 1, getting my face done. Now I've kind of like shifted to step 2 of my appearance, which is like, honestly paying more attention to what I wear during the day. Even though I work from home, even though nobody sees me from other than from the neck up, I still want to look good. And for me, what that looks like is I've been trying to invest in like matching sets. So I'm trying to invest in loungewear. I'm trying to invest in work clothes that are both comfortable, but also like nice to look at. So what I ended up doing was taking a really hard look at my closet and getting rid of the pieces that just no longer serve me. And I think that that's really important for all of us to do. When it comes to our physical appearance, step one, take a look at your closet, get rid of all of the clothes that no longer serve you. If they can't fit, get rid of them. If they don't bring you joy, get rid of them. If they are not part of like your aesthetic that you currently have or want to have, get rid of them, because there's no purpose in having them there. That old bust-up t-shirt that you've had sitting in your closet or in your drawers for however long, get rid of it. And it's not just the loungewear and the daywear that I like started getting rid of and really tailoring my closet. It's my sleepwear as well. I am like, I used to be one of those people, you guys, where I would sleep in like an old t-shirt and some shorts. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I found that it feels so much more luxurious to me to have matching pajama sets. It's a small thing. It's also quite a cheap thing. You can get some cheap pajamas from like TJ Maxx, Target, Marshalls for like $12 to $16. And it's such a small thing to make you feel more luxurious and more put together at night. Like, think about it. Get, the old bust-up jersey that you have. Just think about that and think about how you would feel in like just a nice matching PJ set. So that is what I mean by, shifting your mindset in your physical appearance for both like day and night. That was such a huge shift for me. And now I am working on like continuing to upgrade my wardrobe to have that. And I said that this would be kind of like free, cheap ways to do that. So I want to like preface this with like, you don't have to like do a drastic shift. So you don't have to clean out your closet all at once and buy 20 million pairs of lingerie or like 12 different sets of pajamas. Like, gradually build those things in. And I say gradually because I want you to really examine how it feels when you make that shift. So like if you bring in one matching pajama set, wear that one night and then wear your old bust-up jersey the next night and see how you feel in both outfits. Like, see if you notice a difference in your mood. See if your like nighttime wind down routine feels better, feels more luxurious. Same with like your loungewear or whatever clothes you're wearing for the day. Put a little bit more attention into it. It could still be sweats, but see if it, try to get like a matching set. Match your shirt with your sweatpants and see if that feels different. Gym wear. If you work out, think about matching your gym clothes or getting matching gym sets and just see how like, did that workout feel different because you looked better or you felt like you looked better? So that's, what I mean, or like step one in terms of like the addressing the physical first, because you can control yourself. You can control what you wear. You can control how you look, and in turn, you can control your mood, and that leads you to a happier, healthier you. Speaking about like controlling how you look, the next thing that I want to include in this sort of physical space is like wearing the nice things that you have now. I used to be that person, and I still kind of am, where I would save things and savor things only for special occasions. So I'm not going to wear my nice perfumes, I'm not going to wear my nice creams, I'm not going to wear my jewelry, only if I'm going out to a certain thing. And that was okay back when I was going into the office, because that meant that I could actually wear it to more places. But now that I work from home, and I am home for a significant chunk of time, I have like had to shift my mindset to be like, every day is a special occasion. The fact that I'm here is a special occasion. Wear my nice things now. So when I get up in the morning, I put on jewelry. I pick a nice fragrance. Like, for example, today I am wearing the Tom Ford Soleil Brûlant. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But I'm wearing this Tom Ford fragrance today. Am I going anywhere? No, I am going to be in my house all day today. So this is really just for me to smell good for myself. And this is what, a $300-$400 perfume? Stupid expensive, but that's not the point. But I am like romanticizing my life and doing the things for me and not waiting for like the special occasion to wear the nice things or to use the things that I have, because every day really is a special occasion. So make sure that you are using your fragrances, your skin lotions, all of those things now, romanticizing your skincare routine, all of those things, because you can control that, because that is part of like the physical for you. And the last thing that I will say is pick one thing. Pick one thing that you do for your self-care and let that be a consistent thing. I know sometimes you can feel really, really guilty about spending money on like hair, nails, facials, massages, and all of that stuff, because the reality is they're not cheap. And, you know, for some people, that's a part of their entire maintenance routine. But for a lot of us, we can't afford to do that every 2 weeks. I know I sure as hell can't. So pick the one thing that you are going to consistently do that's just for you. And for me, that's getting my nails done. I know some of you guys comment on that when you see me change my nail color. Like, getting my nails done is such an important part of my self-care routine and like having balance in my life, because I'm a chronic nail biter. I don't think anybody knows that, but like, I grew up biting my nails, and I would bite my nails till they bleed. It's still something that I struggle with today, and one of the ways in which I combat that is getting my nails done. When my nails are done, the urge to bite them is non-existent or very, very low. Like, I will pick at them sometimes, but it is much harder for me to bite them. When my nails are not done, I will chew them till they bleed. So for me, the thing that I am consistently doing is getting my nails done. You know, would I love to be able to afford to also invest in getting my hair done constantly? Sure, but that's expensive. So like, the one thing I really, every 2 to 3 weeks, I get my nails done. And then when I can, when it makes sense, I'll get my hair done, I'll get a massage, I might get a facial. So that's how I am like creating balance and in my life, by making sure that the nails are done all the time. Okay, so that's the physical. Let's shift to the mental. So this is also part of what you can control to some extent. And mental health is something that I have grown to really have a stronger focus on. Like I said, last year was one of the hardest years of my life. I started therapy, which has been really, really helpful for me. So as you are thinking about how to find balance, I think it's really important for us to prioritize our mental health, because that kind of bleeds into everything. And mental health tends to always be the one thing that falls to the wayside. And as I was looking at other like videos on this and, you know, the best ways to support mental health, there were a lot of options. And honestly, I found that not a lot of them will work for me, you know, and I think you have to find the right thing for you. And that's really what this sort of section comes down to. What is the right thing for your mental health? It could be meditating, it could be journaling, it could be going to church, it could be exercise. And I say pick one, because I feel like I've seen so many videos of people talking about they wake up, they write in their journal for 10 minutes, then they have another 10 minutes of meditating. Again, depending on your lifestyle, that just might not work for you. Me personally, meditating has never really been my thing. I am trying to get into like journaling, because I do find that when I write my thoughts down, it helps me think. Like, I process so much better by writing. Like, even at work, I write everything down, because that's how my brain like remembers, that's how my brain processes. I can scribble little notes. So I'm trying to get into journaling because I found it to be very helpful professionally. And I think in this mental space, it will also be very helpful for me to like get that out. But the one thing that I have chosen to focus on for like balance around my mental health is going to church and reconnecting with like my religious beliefs. I'm a very religious person. I'll just start there. Me and Jesus, like this. Like, so I just want to start there. But I felt like last year, because there was so much going on, I felt like my connection to God kind of like separate a little bit. And one thing I always notice is that when I am connected to God, when me and Jesus are like on that, I feel better. I feel calmer, because there's something about me and my relationship with God that when I start to like feel off, he's like, no girl, remember who you are. And that is the type of like confidence that I need. That is the type of boost that I need. So I need to spend more time investing in my like religious beliefs, in my spirituality, so that I can continue to have that connection, because that is one of the things that really helps calm my mental health. So for me, in terms of finding balance, that looks like actually finding more time to build that back into my life, whether that be, you know, like me finding time to pray at home, going to church on Sundays consistently. Like, that is really, really important for me. So that is one part. The second thing that I want to focus on, exercise. And this kind of gets into the physical, right? So again, you look good, you feel good, but there are so many benefits to exercise on your mental health that like that oftentimes gets overlooked. And exercise is often viewed as simply like, oh, you're doing it for the aesthetic, to lose weight, to look better. Yeah, sure, that's the thing. But honestly, the dopamine hit that you feel when you finish a workout is just amazing. And the other thing too, when it comes to exercise for me and working out, is the community. I just started a new gym, and I'll do a separate video talking about like my fitness and health routine and, you know, how I'm getting into that. But I started a new gym, and part of the reason why I'm like completely obsessed with this gym already is that there's this community of people there that are the most supportive I have ever seen. So like when you are struggling, when you can't breathe, when you are trying to run around the block, and like they're like, no, you got this, girl, that helps mentally so much more. As an adult, and this is how I feel, but you guys can let me know, it is so hard to make friends. It is so hard to make friends. And I'm an extrovert, and I'm also somebody that lives alone. So for me, I really struggle with being alone for very long periods of time because I like people. But it can be hard to meet people. It's not like you were in college or or high school or whatever the case is, secondary school. Like you just made friends. That's the thing. Now as an adult, it is so hard to meet people, and there are very few places where you can just organically connect with people over some kind of interest and then become friends. And going to the gym has become that for me. I've met like an amazing community that just like completely embraced me from day one. And one, it motivates me to continue going. And it really helps my mental health. I'm a 6 a.m. gym girly, you guys. Like who am I? I'm now the person that gets up at 5 and is excited to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. That is crazy. But I've already felt that shift in terms of like me feeling better mentally with working out and with exercise. So that's where I'm at when it comes to the mental, getting my spirituality right, and getting that physical exercise piece going. And you see, both of those things are like free to cheap. Going to church, getting connected with Jesus again, that's completely free. Meditation, journaling, those things can be extremely cheap. Like you can get a guided journal, or you can listen to like guided meditations on YouTube for free. Or you can pay for it. So you can get it at a lower cost. Going to a gym, now that is gonna cost you. There are some cheap gyms that you can go to. For me, I decided that it was more important to invest. So I'm paying more. I actually left my old gym for this new gym, and I'm happy. I'm paying more at this gym, but I'm actually going to this gym because I wasn't going to the last one. So you can finagle it to either be like cheap or free. I do also know that depending on where you are, there are sometimes like running groups or hiking groups that are free to join. So that's another way to get exercise in probably like a non-traditional way that doesn't require going to a gym, but also to meet people. Because like I said, it can be hard to make friends, but like there are a lot of Facebook groups of like, you know, runners clubs or bikers or hikers that you can join, and you can get that sort of dopamine or that, you know, that energy boost from like working out as well as like making friends. Okay, and then the last section that I wanted to talk about, like I told you guys, is the environmental. Now this one was a little bit harder for me because this is everything outside of your control. You know, it is very hard to control the world around us. A lot of times you kind of just have to roll with the punches and just think about what decisions you need to make or what you can control within a specific environment. Now, for this specifically, though, I'm not trying to go into like the larger environment of what's happening in the world, but honestly, I just want to talk about your physical space. So we talked about like physical body, but I want to talk about your physical space, where you live, the space that you occupy, and finding balance in that. Because I work from home, this was and is particularly important to me because I have lost a lot of separation of certain things. So getting up and going to work and spending 8 hours a day in a separate place was great in terms of I knew that when I was there, I was in work mood, professional mood, I was getting ish done, and it was all there. And when I left there, I could easily flip that switch off and go home to a place that was complete relaxation. When you work from home, those lines get blurred, and they can be working from home can have its positives and negatives, right? So you don't have to worry about the commute, the traffic, you save money, all of that. But if you are working from home and you don't have the physical space to have like a separate office, like, you know, even though I live alone, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I can't afford it. Well, I could, but it doesn't make sense to me to have a 2-bedroom apartment. It's also like a lot of money. So I'll say that I can't afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So in a lot of ways, my workspace bleeds into my living space. And because of that, I have to work a lot harder now to separate work from like home, which is meant to be your safe relaxation space. So there are a couple of ways in which I've tried to find balance in that. And the first is that having like a designated workspace. So my kitchen table, or kitchen area, dining area, I should say, has become my workspace. And that's where it is. That's where my work sits. That's where my work lives. Every now and then I will work from the couch, but I try to do that very infrequently because I don't want to get too comfortable just kind of like lazing on the couch with my work laptop. One thing I absolutely don't do is I don't work from my bedroom. My bedroom is a haven. My bedroom is the space that I do my I do my YouTube, if you want to consider that working, but outside of that, I don't bring any work into my bedroom because I need this to be the space that brings me peace, brings me relaxation, brings me joy. So here is where I will film, which I enjoy. It brings me a lot of joy. I will read, I will journal, I will lounge in bed. I have like really nice like tea lights when I want like a little bit of a softer mood. I'll have my candles in here. I'll have a candle in here burning if I want like a nice scent. So I try to make sure that this remains a sacred space. An important thing for me in 2024 and just in general when it comes to my space was sort of like removing clutter. I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I have a hard time throwing things away. And I had to like shift my mindset into in a couple of ways. One, in terms of like the money's already gone. Like it's very hard to get rid of things that you spent money on because you like see the value in it and you see the dollar in it. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get the money back. You already spent the money is gone. So I had to really get that into my mind. And then I started reading about death cleaning, which is, like getting rid of things that people aren't going to want if you like die. It's very morbid. It is very, very morbid, but it is essentially decluttering your life so that your loved ones don't have to do it when you pass, because you don't want to be a burden for them. It's a little morbid. I don't think I'm going to pass. Please, thank you, Jesus. Amen. But it was important for me to really do that, especially because I moved in 2023, and as I was moving to this new place in 2024, I needed to be very clear about what I was not bringing into the space. Like I didn't want to transfer clutter from one place to the next. So in like taking care of my physical environment, because I'm a hoarder, because I'm somebody who likes to collect a lot, because I'm not a minimalist, I have to constantly check myself and check in with myself in terms of like what I'm surrounded by. Like, do I have too many things? Do I need to get rid of things? So for me, I have been trying very hard to make sure that I'm not bringing too much into my space. And if I am, thinking about like, is that something that serves a purpose? And if it is something that serves a purpose and that I need it, is it to replace something else? Should I be getting rid of something else? For example, I just bought a pair of running shoes. It's supposed to come sometime this week. And I have been like wrestling with the fact of like, okay, now that I have these new sneakers, does this mean I need to declutter my old sneakers? They're still technically fine, but do I need both of them? Am I going to use both of them? Or am I going to only exclusively use this new pair because that's what I bought it for? It's better. It has, it's more suited for like my foot needs and whatnot. So like I've been really kind of like struggling with that. So decluttering your space is such an important step to feeling lighter, brighter, having more balance, and not feeling like you're just drowning in things. The next tip, best practice, whatever you want to call it, I'm really not sure what I'm going to name this video, that I have is like develop a routine and have that routine spread out. One of the things that I used to do and still do sometimes is that when it comes to taking care of my physical space, I would leave everything for Sunday. So come Sunday, you are cleaning, washing, vacuuming, doing all of the things at once. And I actually found this really cool cleaning schedule that breaks things down by day so that everything is less overwhelming. So you'll have one day of like complete rest where you're not doing anything. And then each day you do something small so that you aren't overwhelmed by having to do every single task at once. So for example, Mondays, kitchen. So on Mondays, you clean your kitchen. That looks like wiping down the stove, mopping the floors, whatever it is that, cleaning out the fridge, whatever it is you need to do, you get that done. And because it's like not a huge task, especially for somebody that, you know, again, I live alone, 1-bedroom apartment, I'm able to do that quickly and get it done and still have a lot of time left in the day after, you know, because I'm doing this afterwards. I still have a lot of time left in the day to still relax and do whatever it is I need to do. Versus if I were to do everything on Sunday, I would be cleaning the kitchen, vacuuming the living room, the bedroom, doing laundry, meal prepping, all of those things happening on the same day is just seem too much. So having a routine, having a schedule, that has really helped me to find balance because I'm literally spreading everything around in a balanced way. See? Now, speaking of finding balance, the last tip I wanted to throw in there for people who aren't like me, and that is, you know, I, again, single, living alone in my own place, but I do know a lot of folks who watch me have families and who are not living alone. So delegation. And that is actually something that I'm working on in other aspects of my life, is delegating things out, because I'm incapable of doing everything. And that's not a bad thing to say out loud. It just is a thing. And I think a lot of times, women particularly, we are often doing all of the sort of household and physical environment things, when a lot of times those things can be like shared or should be shared amongst the people that you live with. That was something that I failed to do in my last place, in my last relationship, but you know, you live and you learn. But sharing those responsibilities is really important. I think a lot of times parents will do a lot for their kids, and sometimes the kids can help out. You know, they can clean up a little bit here or there too. If you're living with a partner or roommate or whatever it is, they can clean up a little bit here too. So think about like how you can delegate things to make sure that everybody's contributing to keeping the physical space clean, not cluttered, organized, and all of that fun jazz. And if you can afford it, consider farming it out entirely. Like if you are able to, I do believe there are some affordable cleaning services that can come in at a frequency that works for you, whether that be once a month for a deep clean, every other week, whatever the case is, that might be an option for you as well. Like you don't have to do it all on your own. I know a lot of us probably grew up thinking that or like doing that, but when you realize that there's a lot that you can farm out, delegate out, or, you know, like ask for help on, it opens up so much and it takes so much off of your shoulders. Okay, so that's it for this video. You know, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of like very chatty video of me kind of like talking holistically about like beauty and this like life and wellness journey. I don't know what to call it, you guys. So if you have thoughts about that, this series, what it can be, leave it down in the comments below. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you had any suggestions, other tips, tricks that you wanted to share, please leave that in the video as well. In the comments as well. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe on your way out. Join the fam if you want to see more from me, especially more around this type of content. As always, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.